Nevada's Humboldt River drainage was a major overland route in the 1850s. In 1859, a silver strike was made at the Comstock lode in the western part of Nevada. The population growth in Virginia City, Carson City, and Reno resulting from the strike led to Nevada statehood in 1864. By the late 1860s, the mining of silver and gold meant millions of dollars annually for Nevada. The precious metals these miners found was clearly visible to the naked eye and was found by techniques such as panning. Gold and silver discoveries were made throughout the state, and mining boom towns sprang up to provide services for the miners. In northeastern Nevada, towns with such names as Tuscarora, Union Gulch, and Bruno City became beehives of activity in the 1870s. Charleston, Gold Creek, and Jarbidge resulted from gold discoveries in the 1880s, 90s, and early 1900s. Some cities boomed for only a few years, but may have had a peak population of over 20,000. In 1906, as Nevada and the rest of the West was becoming more populated, President Theodore Roosevelt established the Independence Forest Reserve in northeastern Nevada. Forest reserves became national forests a few years later, with the Independence Reserve becoming the Humboldt National Forest. The national forests were managed by the newly formed Forest Service. The primary emphasis of the new federal agency was to protect the watersheds and provide timber. Livestock grazing was a major use of the national forest in Nevada at the turn of the century. 500,000 sheep grazed on what is now Mountain City Ranger District. In 1909, grazing allotments were established to protect the watersheds on the Humboldt National Forest. Seasons of use and animal numbers were determined for each allotment by the stockmen and forest officers. Today, the Humboldt National Forest is managed under the multiple-use concept. The forest continues to provide forage for the livestock industry, but there are other uses as well. There is habitat for wildlife, clean water is produced from its watersheds, and it provides an array of recreational opportunities. In addition, there is a valuable mineral beneath the sparsely forested mountains. In 1970, gold was discovered and is currently being mined in northern Nevada. It was missed by the early miners because they could not see it. The gold is so small, it can only be seen through a microscope. Such is the case with the Big Springs mine. Independence Mining Company's Big Springs mine is located between the elevations of 7,000 and 9,500 feet. The mine is in the northern Independence Mountain Range of Nevada, on the Humboldt National Forest's Mountain City Ranger District. Gold was first discovered at Big Springs in 1981. Over $2 million was spent to drill more than 1,000 exploration holes to define the quality and limits of mineralization. Plans to build a mill and develop the mine were finalized 5 years after discovery in 1986. The Big Springs mine is a typical open-pit gold mine, similar to many others found in northern Nevada. First, the rock is drilled and the gold content of each hole is measured to determine what material is ore and what is waste. Then, the rock is loosened by blasting.
Yes, to all mine radios, fire in the hole.
ore is loaded onto large trucks and hauled to the mine site crusher, which reduces the ore size so it can be loaded onto highway-style belly dump trucks and hauled to the mill. At the mill, the ore is ground as fine as flour and roasted to drive off minerals that bind the gold. It is then mixed with water and chemicals that dissolve the gold. The recovered gold is then refined and melted into bars. The mine produces between 50,000 and 70,000 ounces per year and provides employment for about 125 workers. The mine, which is small relative to other mines in northeastern Nevada, will provide over 1,000 person-years of employment during the life of the project. Each bar is then stamped and numbered before shipment. While the major use of gold is for jewelry, it is also used widely in industrial and medical applications.
The original plan was that we'd take waste out of here and start right in here and wrap it around the hill and come in right at the notch so that it'd all be backfilled with waste.
Independence mining personnel, with the assistance of the Forest Service, designed Big Springs Mine to reduce environmental impacts to the lowest level possible. Through careful planning, design, and personal commitment, the Big Springs project has become the first hard rock mining showcase in the National Forest System.
The purpose of a showcase is to demonstrate how minerals can be extracted from the earth in a way that integrates other resource values and uses of the land in an environmentally sound manner.
What really makes the Big Springs project a mineral showcase is the cooperative working relationship that has then developed into a partnership. Through this partnership, we have tackled some very sensitive issues and concerns.
Public involvement revealed that there was great concern for other valuable resources that are present at this site: scenic beauty, rangelands, recreation, and wildlife. The greatest concern was for the Lahontan cutthroat trout and water quality. The trout is listed as threatened under the Threatened and Endangered Species Act. A lot of effort has gone into protecting and improving the trout fishery of the North Fork Humboldt River. Independence stabilized eroding portions of the stream bank with selected waste rock from the mine, creating favorable conditions for the trout. Beaver activity has also improved the health of the stream. Independence Mining, in cooperation with the Forest Service, fenced a portion of the North Fork Canyon to exclude domestic livestock from the mine and stream area. This has allowed the willows and other streamside vegetation to grow, enhancing conditions for trout. Controlling erosion has been a concern all along, particularly as it relates to trout habitat and water quality. To prevent any mine area sediment from entering the creek, sediment-catching ponds were constructed. Sediment traps are maintained at drainage points below the mine roads, which intercept runoff that may be laden with silt. The heavier sediment is dropped as the water is slowed, and some of the finer material is removed as it is strained through bales of straw and filter cloth. Independence Mining also took some steps that reduced the potential for sedimentation. By working closely with the Forest Service engineers, the company located the mine-to-mill haul road further away from the stream than the pre-existing county road. This decreased erosion by placing the road out of the wetter streamside habitat. It also decreased disturbance to wildlife in the rich area. Portions of the old road, no longer in use, were reclaimed. By designing the haul road for highway-sized trucks rather than the larger trucks generally used to haul ore, a narrower road could be used. This increased the operating costs for the company, but provided less road surface as a sediment source. Another measure Independence Mining took to prevent erosion was to hydromulch and seed the cut and fill slopes of the haul road to establish vegetation quickly. Private vehicles and mining trucks both use the haul road, which will remain a county road when mining operations are completed. Hunters, in particular, use the road in the fall. To make traveling safer for hunters and miners alike, Independence Mining Company keeps mining traffic as light as possible during the opening days of the deer season. Watering the roads and other dusty areas is done for safety and to meet air quality requirements of the Nevada Department of Environmental Protection. Dust abatement chemicals are applied to the mine roads each spring and are effective for most of the dry summer season. The chemicals themselves do not harm the land or water.
Fundamental mine design allowed a lot of things to be done to mitigate any environmental problems that might come about because of our operation. Principal among these was the placement of dumps some distance away from the mine site. This allowed a more favorable dump site and reduced the amount of sedimentation that would be derived from the dumps.
When ore is removed from the pit, there is always the question of what to do with the rock that is not ore, the waste. Independence Mining placed the waste dumps at Big Springs in areas which would provide long-term stability. The company also blends the dumps in with the surrounding countryside. Lightly colored waste rock is placed on the side of the dump visible from traveled roadways, and darker material is placed in less visible locations. A rock dump in another location was covered with topsoil and seeded, and is showing good first growing season results. At the completion of mining operations, waste rock dumps will be treated in this manner. Independence also made a special effort by filling a pit where mining activity was completed. The Mack Ridge pit was mined in phases which allowed the pit to be filled as mining was completed. This reduced its visibility from a Nevada state highway. Reclamation at Big Springs is occurring during the life of the mine, a process called concurrent reclamation. Roads no longer in use are reclaimed by pulling topsoil over them using a track-mounted backhoe. Independence uses innovative methods to save larger amounts of topsoil than originally thought possible. This is done by removing it from steep areas of the pit where pre-stripping would be impossible. Topsoil stockpiles are designed to maintain the soil's plant-growing capabilities. The stockpiles are seeded to reduce erosion. Independence Mining Company built a 6-unit campground at Jack Creek, located west of the mine, to offset the loss of recreation use along the main haul road. Quality control at Big Springs is evident. The company works with the Forest Service on weekly mine inspections.
See all mine radios, fire in the hole.
They also monitor the mining activities and environmental conditions on their own through self-inspection.
We have seed all mine radios. Blasting operations are complete and radio silence is over.
Water quality and quantity in the North Fork Humboldt River is recorded from several locations on a monthly basis. In addition, fishery surveys are taken regularly. These surveys indicate the 1990 fish population is at a record high level. When mining operations are completed, the Big Springs area will continue to provide a range of multiple uses. Early in the environmental assessment planning process, post-mining objectives were established to chart a course for the area's future. Following mining reclamation, the North Fork Humboldt River fishery will be in as good or better condition than it was before mining. The land will be returned to a condition that provides habitat for diverse wildlife. The watershed will provide clean water of a quality it has for centuries. The capacity of the range resource will be returned to 90% of pre-mining levels. The mine closure plan assures recreation opportunities will be maintained at pre-mining levels.
I think the Big Springs project is an area where we're able to show that we've reached a balance between the need to extract valuable mineral resources from the earth while at the same time dealing with sensitive resource issues and taking care of the environment.
This mine should serve as an example not only for other mines of the same company, but other mines in Nevada as to what should be done and what sets a standard for reclamation in Nevada and indeed for all hard rock mining in the West.
The Forest Service approached Independence Mining about 6 months ago regarding making Big Springs a showcase operation. Independence felt that it would be an excellent opportunity to get the word out to the American public about the benefits of mining in general and also how mining can work in the environmental setting that we have here today.